Hey everybody, we're quickly into week number 2 of the Syracuse football season. That means another Perry's Inside Scoop with the head coach Dino Babers. The Orange 1-0 after a 65-0 rout of Colgate in the opener. And we always ask you, Coach, what did the film tell you on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday that maybe the game did not? And in this particular case, I think that's even more important because I know at the end of the first quarter there was no doubt who was going to win the game on Saturday, but you've got to look at all those nuances to see what you really have in your team.
I think I mentioned it, but I'll say it again. I really thought the guys played hard. They did not treat this game like they gave it the respect that it was due. They played the game the right way. We didn't do everything right, and we had our shares of mistakes, but I really do think the effort was really good.
Talk to me about the balance of one aspect of the game in particular. Garrett Schrader throws an interception on the last play of the first half. Was that a miscommunication type thing, and how did that inform your decision to have him start the second half?
Well, I just think it was a bad play on his part, and he just didn't want to end on that note, which means to make a better play, and we don't have to end on that note. But I have a lot of respect for him. He understands exactly what we're trying to get done. He's a mature player. He's been around a while, so he can go back out there and right a wrong, and then we need to move on about our business.
Did you view that game as an appropriate evaluation of the, when you talk about the underbelly during the bye week, those are typically guys that aren't traveling, aren't playing a great deal, but some of them that may or may not be in your plans over the course of this year obviously got some run in that game. So was there anything that popped out to you?
Still some competitions that are going on. There's still some guys that are, we better slow down right here. Let's make sure that this guy is really the number 2 and this 3 isn't the number 2. So there were some good performances out there for sure.
Yeah, so a real game, real hitting, an opportunity to ramp the schedule up with Western Michigan coming in. I know you have a great deal of respect for the Mid-American Conference and what you see there. What'd you make of Western's opening game? They played St. Francis, doubled them up 35-17, and had 67 rushing attempts.
It was spooky. It almost felt like they went in and scrimmaged them and hid their entire throwing game on offense and made their team tougher on the run game by running the ball 67 times. They kept their defense off the field, so you really didn't get a fantastic evaluation of what they were doing on the other side. And if that was a part one or the appetizers to the main meal, I'm watching tape and we really don't know what we're seeing, and this is not a very comfortable situation.
Sure. From a scouting perspective, I know you can get a head start on your first couple of opponents in the offseason. With Coach Taylor's background, he was in the NFL with the Panthers, running backs coach at Notre Dame, offensive coordinator just last year at Louisville. We know Coach Lester at Western Michigan that they moved on from. So what did you do in terms of getting your arms around what Western does?
Well, first of all, the defensive coordinator was retained, so we've played against him, and he's done really good jobs on us for the most part. The special teams coordinator came from Louisville, so we've got some film on him, and then along with Coach Taylor, who was here in the opener last year in the Dome. So he's going to understand how the Dome works, the lack of communication for the offensive guys. They really have a huge advantage. It's not just like this is a rookie staff coming in. There's a lot of veterans that have been in Syracuse before.
It's funny you say that. Lack of communication is a tip of the cap to the fans in a way, the Dome environment, and it's one of those things you really do count on or at least build in, that the other teams have to consider.
It really is, and our fans do a great job. We need, when their offense is out there, not to hear. And if we wanted to do the supreme thing, all we have to do is turn off the air conditioning, and then we can really rock and roll in that place.
I know you've been selling that for quite a while here since the air conditioning was first talked about and installed, and I know someday you're just going to throw a wrench right in that thing and make it not work. Your sense of where your team leadership is in approaching this week. I think I was just walking with one of the guys in the hallway who kind of said, hey, that was the opening game. We knew what it was going to be. It was an extension of training camp in a way, continue to work and be finer. But obviously, with all due respect to Colgate, you're dealing with higher recruited, higher talented players coming in from the rest of the season.
Yeah, I'm fortunate enough to have a big brother and a little brother. And, I could get in a little tussle with my little brother, but my little brother really can't get into a tussle with me. Now, my older brother, we could get into a real tussle, and that's what we've got going on right here. This is a mid-major program. While I was at that level, we were 3-1 versus football teams of this size, of the Power 5, and they're more than they have enough ammunition, they have enough players to beat us. We need to play a good game, and we need to play a clean game, or we could get in trouble.
On that clean, I know there were a couple of penalties that popped up, and you were quick to say, look, the blame's not all necessarily on the players. False starts are probably on the players, lining up in special teams on the coaches.
Yeah, we all have to take responsibility. And my big thing is, while those players are out there, again, we're helping them take the test. And you're allowed to make a mistake, okay, then the TA needs to correct the mistake so that you get it right next time. And you're not allowed to miss the same question twice. That's not acceptable. So,
you know, and one thing that popped up in terms of X's and O's, the way the ball was distributed around, certainly a big conversation here is, you know, how do you develop a number of weapons offensively? So LaQuint Allen had a very efficient game. He ran for 107 yards in the first half. Wasn't a factor for you in the second half. You had that second, third, fourth running back in the game. What was your evaluation there?
Thought that we did some good things out of the backfield, but when you turn over the ball, that's not good. And when we let the ball go, that's not good as well. We need to do a better job in the backfield holding on to the football.
And in the throwing game, again, kind of to me, the theme of that Colgate win was where were the sort of second teamers or fringe players, guys that aren't on the posters. 4 touchdowns from Garrett Schrader to 4 different individuals. But then Carlos Del Rio Wilson come in and did his thing. Omari Hatcher, who flashed in the past, had his best game of his career.
Yeah, Omari had a really nice game. And as I said to him, I said, we all knew he had that in him. So now the thing is, are you going to be consistent or are you going to be occasional? So we're looking forward to see what happens this.
All right, we'll wrap up, Coach, with the way we often do here is kind of when you're waking up with a smile on your face Sunday morning, the reason will be what? What's it going to take and what are you looking for in this game?
In the very first game, we got 3 turnovers from the defense, which is absolutely amazing. Offensively, we gave 3 turnovers away, which put us at 0. We should be in the top 20 in the country in turnover ratio, and right now we're not. We've got to hold on to the football, clean in the special teams, and get turnovers on defense.
All items we'll look to see. The defense did outscore the Colgate offense last week. Can't count on that every week, but we'll see if the Orange can continue to make a statement in that way. Hot week, good opportunity for some Perry's ice cream. Perry's is proudly made in New York.